Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7, and today we are taking a look at the Kizer Hawk. And that is, of course, with the goal of finding out if it's worth adding to your collection or your daily carry rotation. And this was sent to me by the Lefty Pass-Around group. This knife was designed by Carlos Elstner, and it was OEM'd by Kizer. First thing I want to say, guys, is thank you for all the likes and subscribes. The channel growth has been incredible, and I really genuinely appreciate the love and support that you guys have provided me. Please keep doing what you're doing, and I will keep doing what I am doing. Now, this knife is super interesting. There are so many little details to cover. So many things that they did to really make this knife stand apart. And for the price point, it's a little insane. So we're going to go ahead and get the blade out, but we're not talking about that yet. As far as the handle goes, we have milled titanium. All right, so you can see those lines. We have these giant, I'll just call them holes, and I don't even really know what to call these chamfered scoops, but these holes are really comfortable, like really comfortable. If you find yourself sitting inside of one, it's kind of great, actually. And that's because they've scooped this area out. So it's almost like little landing spots for your fingers. We flip it over. We still have that milled titanium, but then we also have this like faux bolster frag. Hold on a second. Can't have that. Try to keep it presentable for you guys. Yes, I have been using this. And the DLC is held up incredibly well. Oh, we got one more little, clean that out. There we go. We do have T8 for the hardware for everything. The pivot, pocket clip, the body screws, it's all T8. We've got these very generous pivot collars on both sides. We do have a deep carry milled titanium pocket clip. Gives plenty of room underneath. We have good retention. We have this really nice, I don't know exactly what to call the pattern, but it's like, I'm just going to say jimping for the lack of a better term, but we have a jimped 1/3 back spacer that comes all the way down. And then we do have a, I would say tasteful spot, which is weird because it's a lanyard hole, but it looks like it was slapped on there kind of, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's appropriate. I don't know why. I feel like it goes with the design of the back spacer. And this is a non-reversible pocket clip, which, I mean, the sides aren't anywhere near symmetrical, so I can kind of understand it. Now, as far as the ergonomics on this, they're fairly neutral, incredibly comfortable, super ergonomic. Because of how tall the handle is this way, and because they give you a really nice chamfer to kind of sink into, it makes for a really, really good, comfortable fit in your hand. Pocket clip completely disappears. I wear large size gloves, and I'm not cramped up here, and I've got room back here to spare. You cannot choke up. So you're either here or you're here, but you can't go past this flipper tab. We do have nice functional jimping. Despite the weight of this knife, It feels super lightweight, and then it looks like our balance point is just about perfect. Now, as far as the blade goes, we are rocking a mirrored DLC. I don't know if you guys are catching it. I'm wearing a white t-shirt. You guys can see that. Let's see if we can get something else in here. There we go. Yeah, you can see that. The light's not doing it any favors because of the way it's angled, but you can see the pink in there. But super, super good looking mirror DLC. It's not the most mirror DLC I've ever seen. I wouldn't compare it necessarily to the purple fat carbon mirror DLC. I think the one on the Militao was a little bit more mirror, where this one is more than reflective, but not quite a perfect mirror. You know what I'm saying? We have a flat grind on the blade. We are rocking M390 blade steel. This is such a utilitarian blade shape. You have some belly, you have a nice robust point. We do have a relatively thick blade stack thickness, and you can see how thick it is and then how quickly it tapers off to being incredibly thin. They did a really great job with this blade. They do list the HRC from 60 to 62, with 60 being fine, but 62 being awesome. And then I want to say 63 is the ideal. So, but they're not touching 59. So if 60 is the worst case scenario, we'll take it. Now, the real treat for me on this knife is going to be the action. And we're going to talk about the elephant in the room in a second, but this is incredibly snappy. A little bit of double clutch, unless you get a little bit lower to disengage the inset liner lock. You can hear that sound the detent's making. This is going to be the closest you're going to get to sounding like a Herman without actually having a Herman. And it's got on the way up and on the way down. We got that nice ting. So why is this knife making those noises? Well, Kizer has something that they're calling it's like a dual stop pin. And I can actually show it to you. If you look right back here, you're going to see my fingers in between the two, but we've got a stop pin right here. And then just to the left of that, oh, I said right here and then I hid it from you. We've got a stop pin right here. Here, actually, so this one, and then on the inside, we've got this one right there. Not only that, but instead of a detent ball, they have what they're calling a detent pillar. I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys can see it in there or not. There we go. That's a detent pillar. I am guesstimating, but watching this knife engage, it obviously is slapping two stop pins at the same time, which is going to generate more frequency, but the snap, whenever that detent pillar locks into place, a lot of noise is coming from that. So I don't necessarily know what it is about the pillar shape that's causing that acoustic, but I guess between that and the two stop pins, that's coming together to generate this. And this is magnificent. Not only that, but the impact the pillar has on the action. Like the detent's not hard, but it's so tactile. You get so much feedback. I mean, you could take away the milling, the holes, the frag. You could take all of it away, take away the DLC, take all of it away. But if you gave me a knife that made this acoustic consistently, yeah, I mean, take my wallet. It is so satisfying. Like, annoy your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend, like 101 right here. Oh, and I know. I'm droning on about the action and the acoustics, but outside of looks, action and acoustics is like what I buy for. I don't even necessarily care for the aesthetic of this knife. It's just not my style. Although I do like the chaotic blade window, but it's just not my style. This isn't my style of blade shape. Holes aren't really my style, but all of that fades in the face of this incredible action and incredible acoustics. Now, just going back to the double clutch for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about. So double clutch is whenever you have a flipper tab, you go and you disengage a knife, and where the flipper tab lands on your nail in relation to, has the knife made itself past the detent baller, in this case, the detent pillar? Well, it hasn't, right? So, you know, ideally you want to disengage, be past the detent pole and let it drop. If there's double clutch, you'll disengage and now you're stuck, right? But you have a lot of room and a lot of inset liner lock. If you disengage, I would say from the halfway point down, then you're going to clear that detent pillar and you're not going to deal with the double clutch. The other thing you can do is send it to Paul I Might, and he'll take the flipper tab off for you, but the action's too crispy. So you can do that, but I'd recommend against it. Access to the lock bar is plenty easy, and this is going to be lefty friendly because it's an inset liner, which means it doesn't matter where you put your hand. You don't have to worry about, like, for anyone that doesn't know. Let's see, do I have a... Yeah, here we go. If you have a frame lock, like this, this 2E here, if I put my thumb on the lock bar and then try to deploy the knife, it's not going to work. So if I'm not a lefty, but if I was and I wanted to deploy this, I either have to hug the pocket clip or I have to get back here on the back of the scale and then try to deploy it. Whereas right-handed, as long as I'm not pushing back here on the lock bar, I can pretty much sit wherever the heck I want to and not worry about it. Well, whenever you have an inset liner lock or anything other than an exposed frame lock, lefties can manipulate it just as easy as anybody else can. You just don't have the reversible pocket clip. So the overall length is going to be 7.98 inches. Blade length is going to be 3.41 inches. And blade to handle ratio is going to be 0.74 or 74%. Size comparison, and I haven't said it in a while, but 0.8 is really where you want your blade to handle ratio to be. That's going to be optimized to give you that kind of Shirogorov look where it's like 50% blade, 50% handle. It isn't actually that, but that's when you start to get that illusion that it is. So we are dwarfing the Civivi Altus. Similarly, we are going to dwarf the Real Steel Sylph. Fantastic budget knife, 10 out of 10, would recommend. And let's put it up against something a little bit bigger. We're going to do the ProTech Integrity button lock. And it's going to come in a little bit bigger, maybe half an inch bigger than the TR3. Also, fantastic knife. I'm a detent snob. Button locks typically don't have good detents. The TR3 absolutely does. And then for an overall weight, we're coming in at 4.77 ounces. But this knife, like if you have a hard cutoff at 4 ounces or something, this knife does not feel like it's 4 ounces. It feels in hand like it's 3. And I know that's crazy, but that's what it feels like. It's so lightweight. The balance is so good. So, how much does the bad boy cost? Well, there's 2 versions of it. The base version is, I want to say right around $169, and that's going to be for the satin blade and the plain titanium finish. This one with the mirror DLC, you're looking at $209.99. If you like DLC, as I think most of us do, it is worth springing for the $209.99. The extra $50 to get the DLC and to get the black finish, yeah, 100%. If you could care less for the DLC and would rather save some money, then you're going to get all of the same stuff as far as build quality, blade steel, acoustics. You'll get all of that with the base model at $169. Would I recommend this? 110%. This knife is fantastic. Not only is it comfortable with an incredibly utilitarian blade shape, but it's made with premium materials. It has a good heat treat, better than the industry standard. And then the fidgetability you're getting, I mean, it just crushes on all metrics. This is an absolutely fantastic knife. One of the best dollar for dollar values that Kizer has brought to market. This thing is just delightful. And the effort that they went into, they didn't have to frag pattern this. Nobody would have complained if they would have just kept the milling. Nobody would have complained. But they decided to go above and beyond. They could have just put holes here and not scalloped them out to make them as comfortable as they are. Nobody would have complained. They could have just done the holes like everyone else does. They didn't do that. They could have just done a premium version or just a basic version. I don't think anybody would have complained. They could have made this hole super basic, right? Nobody would have complained. There's so many things that they could have done that nobody would have like been upset about, but they didn't. They kept going. They kept adding little bits of quality here and there just to show that, you know, that they care. And I think that's awesome. Could have done without this, right? Could have done without that, albeit I think they did it in a classy way. Still, the less branding, the better. But all in all, I would say stellar job. Pocket clip is fantastic, not their usual. I would absolutely carry this, and this would not be a collection piece for me. This would, well, not strictly. This would be kind of, once again, in that weird territory that I have recently found myself hovering in, where I would use it all the time and I'd want to keep it in my collection. Highly recommended. I'm just in awe at what they were able to accomplish. So that's long enough for the video. I am just gushing on about this knife. That's how much I love it. If you like the aesthetic and you value fidgetability and you value acoustics while also valuing utilitarian function, then I can recommend this knife. If you're just looking for utility, while this knife delivers on all of those fronts, you can find utility for 40 bucks, right? You can technically, you could find it at 20 bucks and 30 bucks, but you know, once you hit $40, $50, the value per dollar is astronomical, right? So I would say if you're looking for pure functionality, check out, you know, CGRB Pyrite, check out Sencut Saxy or Serene. You can find those, right? You don't need to be anywhere near this if you're looking for just raw utility. But for the people that want a little extra zing, you know, maybe they like that DLC, they like the acoustics and the fidgetability, they like the aggressive design. Yeah, if this speaks to you, 100% you will not be disappointed. This thing is awesome. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, then I will memorize this ending eventually. I think I'm still just trying to hammer it out. But if you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe. And let me know down in the comments. Is this something that you would collect? Is it something you would carry? Maybe like me, a little bit of both. But outside of that, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at SEVN. And actually, one last thing, and I doubt anyone's made it this far, but just in case you have. And I'll probably bring this up in another video, maybe a little bit sooner. But it's a weird time to monetize on YouTube right now. One, because all the affiliate links are transitioning from one system to another, which means there's no way for me to get affiliate links for a majority of the companies, the stores, the manufacturers, because they all use something that was called, I think, Share Sale. And Share Sale is now becoming AWIN. So there's just a ton of stores that normally I would be able to have affiliate links for that I just can't. That's why you guys see me recommending so much to White Mountain Knives, because that's just the best price typically you can get. Beyond that, I still have a few hundred watch hours before I get to monetize on YouTube itself. So what I did do is I put in the description a link to my Cash App and a link to PayPal. If you want to throw a buck or two to help out with shipping, that would be fantastic. If all of your bills are paid, your favorite knives have been purchased, and you have, plenty of money for the family and for emergencies, if you have a dollar or two that you want to throw my way, that would be awesome. Because I do use pirate ship, but with the frequency of shipping that I do, I probably spend, I would say, maybe about $250 a month just on shipping alone. And that stuff adds up, right? So any help you can give would be greatly appreciated. But if you just want to support by watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, that means the world to me. Okay, I'm officially well over 20 minutes. I'm done rambling. Until the next time, peace.